Good afternoon, fellow punters. Mickey D back with you on Friday afternoon. Just gone 3 o'clock. I decided I'd do this early because it could take a couple hours to upload and I have a few things to do. Hectic weekend in store. The Scottish Grand National's on tomorrow and there's a nice card, and I thought to give the Scottish followers and everybody, I went through spent several hours and a couple hours this morning going through the races, and I thought just to give it the respect a Grand National deserves. Great day so far for us. We had our first winner, and he also created a bit of history. He's the first horse tipped up and won twice for the new tipping channel. So Java Point won on the 4th of March, and now he has won on the 1st of April, coming to the last 4 abreast. I was happy enough. I couldn't hear it, I couldn't see it first time. I was only listening to it in the bus, and I just shouted, "Come on, the Java." I said that a couple of times, and we got a little applause from the back. They knew the driver was winning, and he stayed on gallantly, and the farther the went, the farther he pulled away. He's only a 7-year-old, and nice. That was a novice chase today, so really he was down in class a little today. So he drifted out to 4-1. I went in again, and I have a nice little double going with him with Ben Dundee later on now in the 6 o'clock. So hopefully he can get it done. I see Riggs has drifted out to 20-1. He must have only 3 legs today. And Flower of Scotland, I think, is out to 14-1. Must have heard the threat of me singing the song if he won. But hopefully he might be able to place, or Riggs might be able to place. And although that looks unlikely according to the exchanges, he has drifted out nearly 30-1. And there's a good gamble, Revelant Pleasure against Ben Dundee later as well. So that's a bit worrying. So we'll have to see. We can't lose money anyway with our 100 to 30 winner. So a good start to April. We're out on the bus early this morning. Valerie Reid hopped on, nicely dressed, a nice new hat. She took her place at the front. Daily Clips had his clipboard with him. He got on. He was looking for the journalist section. Adrian O'Connor was on early. Ronan McPhillips pulled up in a tractor and hopped on. John Devitt has still had no sleep. Dublin man after Dublin going down to Division 2. I just told him this morning, like Roy Keane famously said years ago, I said, "John, get over it." You know. Jeremy Hellum, new man on the bus this morning. He asked for a yearly pass, and a bit of a character because he asked where was the drinks cabinet. So we pointed out where the drinks cabinet is near the back, and he went down. Sawsey 55 said to me as well that he's going to give me a crash course in the Scottish accent. That was impulsive yesterday evening. I hadn't it planned. I don't know where it comes out of my head at times. And Hugh Coughlin and Ed Noctor came on as well, and we headed off to the races. So tomorrow in Ayr, the 1:15 is a 2-mile listed handicap chase. The horse that interests me is Sebastopol. I think he's 5-2. He's really getting his act together since they brought him back to 2 mile, and he had a first time visor the last day. They tried him a couple of times at 3 miles and 3 miles 1, but it was too far for him, and he was 2.5 mile there, 3 runs back. He came to the last, the race in the bag, and he tipped over. But this might have given him a confidence boost to the last day. Tom Lacey is going okay, so he would be my selection in the 1:15. In the 150, Dusart is the favourite. It ran in the Brown Advisory. It was 5th. That was heavy ground that day, and I did say afterwards that I'd be avoiding any horses that ran on that particular day. But he's only back 17 days later, and that has to be a minus in my book. He's rated 147. Sounds Russian completed a hat-trick last time. He's won off 111, 121 and 132. And he's gone up a hefty 13 pounds up to 145. So maybe too much. So I thought a safe play in this with 9 declared was Doyen Breed. He was second to Dussino in the Riddlestown. That's a grade 3 last time. And before that he was second to 300 through 5 in a grade 2. And he's 8-1. And I thought a pint each way on him would be a safe enough play. Hopefully that he'd be at least placed. The 225 is the Scottish handicap hurdle. Milkwood won it last year, and he won it in fine style. He was 3-1 favourite. He was carrying 11 stone 6. He was only a 7-year-old last year, 8 this year. He's rated 140. He was rated 142 last year when he won, so he's up £8, rated 150 now. He was second in the Galway Hurl after that last year, but he hasn't been seen since last October in Uttoxeter. Slightly worrying. West Cork won the Greatwood last November in Cheltenham, rated 134, and loads of winners came out of that. It was a very good handicap hurl. Then he was 5th in the Betfair Grade 3 in Ascot in December. Then he was 4th in the County Hurl to Stateman. The horse that was second in the race in Ascot of 136 was Onemorefortheroad. That's what I do often hear as a bus driver when I'm out at night and trying to get them out of the pub. They say, can we have Onemorefortheroad? So hopefully that may do the business tomorrow. He was 4th in the Imperial Cup after being 4th in the race that I mentioned previous, West Cork was in. That was the race that Surprise Packaged, Peter Fahey's horse, won. He was dropped £1 for that to 136. Slightly worrying that Neil King, the trainer, has had no winners in the last 21 days. But he's third favourite, and I 7-2, 4-1. I'd go a point win on him. The next race then is the 3 o'clock. Do Your Job, rated 144. Gets £5 from Manila Drama, who's rated 146. So if there's a handicap proper, he would be getting only £2. He's getting an extra 3. He's 5-2 favourite. I think he may be the one in that. Brings us on to the Scottish Grand National. Now, some of you might find this boring, some of you might find it interesting, but this is the way I go through races down through the years, and I do come up with a fairly successful ploy and tactic, I must say, and strategy. 4 miles distance, 18 out of 18. I went back 18 years last night. So in the last 18 years, 18 winners have ran in the last 57 days or less. And there's a few of them that has that we can discount straight away. Fidux, Jersey Bean, and there's some other one that have been further back than that. Three horses just make the cut. The 56 days. That's the Wolf, Ashtown Lad, and there's some other one as well. 16 of 18, 16 of the last 18 finished in the top 6 last time out, and 16 out of 18 were 8 or older. Now, that's a stat against my pick during the week, which was a 7-year-old. But he'd have a chance. I'll come to him in a few minutes. But being in the first tick the last time, Fantasticus was 7th in the Vintage Clouds, or was 7th the last time out. Vintage Clouds was pulled up. Streets of Doyen was pulled up. One More Flurry was more than 10th. And another horse fell. So we're discounting a few of them. We're gone to about 8 of them gone already. 13 out of 18 carried 10 stone 9 or less. 13 of 18 finished in the first 3 last time out. 13 of 18 was between 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds. So they're either an 8, 9 or 10-year-old. Only one favourite in the last 18 years won. So that's Kitty's Light's favourite this year. 13 out of 18 were double-digit prices. 14 out of 18 winners were either French bred or Irish bred. And Kitty's Light is English bred as well. So that's a double stat against that. Jumble up all that information and what you do with it. You come down on a couple of horses, but the one that I chose on the stats is the Ferry Master. It's a 9-year-old. It's Irish bred. It's 10-1. It was 4th last year off 133. It's £5 lower this year to suggest it has been targeted at this race. It was 2nd last time out, and it ran 25 days ago. So it ticked most of the boxes that I was on about. It's a 10-1 shot, so he could be played as a point each way. The bookies are paying 7 places, I see a lot of them now, and out of 24. That's nearly a third of the field. So he would be a safe play at 10-1. And with our 12-1 that we have on already with Stormy Judge, That was a quarter of the odds, 4 places. So hopefully, as a 7-year-old, he could get in the first 4 to complement what his brother did last year. As I said, he's a bit classier because he won a graded race last year as a novice. Anyway, there's my 2 against the field in a roundabout weight. That's the time and effort I had to put in for the punters, and we'll see will it pay off. The 410 is a handicap hurl. Base Rock won it last year easily off 117, and it wasn't seen since being 5th in the Per Tims qualifier in December. It looks like this race has been targeted again. It's up £13, but it's still only a 6-year-old. I've no prices for him at all. There was nothing in, so he'd be my selection in that race. And in the 445, Floating Rock won this last year of 119. It carried 11 stone 8 to win. 2 runs on the flat this year. He was 3rd of 8 on the 14th of March in Wolverhampton. So it looks like that the owners had a good day out last year after winning this race and says, hey, let's go and win this again next year. He's rated £5 higher, but he's a £5 claimer on him. So he's off the last, he's the same mark as last year. So, they say lightning never strikes twice. Maybe it will. There are my selections for the Scots for tomorrow. There's one other horse in the Mayor's listed handicap hurl at Newbury, Speech Bubble. It was second to Love Envoy in Sandown on the 17th of February of 128. And Love Envoy went on and won in Cheltenham of £7 higher. So the form has a bit of substance to it. So if you're doing a lucky 15, you could do Speech Bubble, one for the road, Sebastopol, and one of the other ones that was shorter there. And there could be an each way lucky 15 with some of the bigger odds for those that like those bets on a Saturday. So anyway, that was what I spent last night and this morning on. I'm over I'm at 12 minutes now, so it's going to take longer to download or upload or whatever the frig it is. Anyway, thanks very much for all your nice comments and all the banter and everything. I've seen Steve leaving a bit of comment there today about his favourite Grand National moment was back in Monty's Pass. And he told everybody. And Dylan Thomas had his one the other day, Mr. What. So in the lead up to next week's Aintree Grand National, if any of you want to share some of your memories, I remember I had lots of successful days punting, but probably the best was Rag Trade in 1978. I had the 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4 each way bets. Very small money, 10 pence each way and 20 pence each way and 25. So young Gosson at the time. So great memories down through the years, before, during and after. Anyway, we have a week to get ready for that. So the best of luck tomorrow in air to all the Scots. And who knows, maybe Flower Scotland might pull it out of the bag today. So I will be, I've two, not sure when I'll be back on Saturday evening because we have a match at 5 o'clock Tumpire, and I have to do a recording around 8 or 9, and it's my birthday tomorrow, and I go to only 2 pints tomorrow night. I'll celebrate the birthday next Saturday night after the Grand National, when I'll be on holidays for a couple of weeks for Easter, and because I have to be up early on Sunday morning heading for Croke Park to try and win 2 weeks in a row against Galway. And I see we're 15-8 underdogs. We were 4-7 favourites last week, but we might surprise them again. Bash those bookies. Good luck.